Welcome back to the journey of the stars and the soul. If you are hearing these words right now, perhaps the universe has arranged for you to be here in this very moment. Because this is not just an astrological message. This is a prophecy meant only for you for the age of 49 to 63, a time when both the heart and the soul stand at one of life's most sacred crossroads. Do you feel it? As if you are standing in a strange pause of life, where the old path no longer fits, and the new path has not yet revealed itself. Don't be afraid, for sometimes that pause, that stillness is the most sacred gift that God and the universe could ever place in your hands. And that is exactly where we begin right now. Aries, if you are between the ages of 49 and 63, take a deep breath and listen closely. These are not just sounds from a distant voice. This is a message the universe is whispering to you in this very moment. Because right now, you are standing at a very special threshold of your life. Some call it middle age, but in truth, this is the great crossroad of the soul. It's no accident that life around you feels slower. It's no coincidence that at times you suddenly ask yourself, who am I? What have all these years been for? And does the road ahead still hold meaning for me? These questions are not signs of crisis. They are the gentle invitation of the universe urging you to pause, to turn inward, and to listen to the whispers of your heart. You, the eternal flame, the one who has always burned with passion, the pioneer who rushes ahead no matter the cost. You are used to speed, to breaking paths open, to moving forward at all costs. And yet, in this stillness between 49 and 63, the universe sends you a paradox. Sometimes moving forward is not about running faster, but about learning to stop. Like the image of the hanged man in tarot, suspended in midair. Not escaping, not collapsing, but waiting. It is not failure. It is preparation for a deeper rebirth, one that truly aligns with your soul. Imagine your life as a mighty river rushing for decades. Now, at this bend, the waters no longer roar, they slow, they deepen, reflecting the trees and the sky above. And in that reflection, you finally see yourself clearly. You realize it is time to stop being swept away, and instead, to sit still, to see everything as it truly is. I believe every soul reaches this moment. For me, it was the day I understood that everything I thought was important, success, recognition, the endless race, was just an illusion. It could vanish in an instant, leaving only emptiness. And in that emptiness, I finally heard the true calling to return inward. You may feel lost, but sometimes being lost opens the very door to finding yourself again. Sometimes stopping is the greatest gift. Be honest with yourself, Aries. How many times have you woken in the night, staring into the dark, wondering if you're still on the right path? How many times have you smiled in a crowd, yet felt empty inside? How many times have you reached a goal, only to feel the joy slip away, replaced by a hollow silence? None of these are failures. They are bells ringing, reminding you it is time to live not for the world, but for yourself. The universe calls us in many ways. Sometimes with a sudden loss, a job, a relationship, or even health. Sometimes with a quiet emptiness that steals the joy from familiar things. These are not punishments, they are awakenings. They are the universe shaking your shoulders, saying, it's time. Stop looking outward, come home to yourself. Know this, the crossroad of the soul is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to heal you. It doesn't take away your energy, it redirects it, leading you back to the path your soul was always meant to walk. And if you dare to believe, you will see that behind the pause, a sunrise is waiting to break through. Dear Aries, maybe right now you feel caught at a junction, unsure of left or right. But the truth is, sometimes you don't need to choose a direction at all. Sometimes you only need to stop, to sit down, and to hear the rhythm of your own heartbeat. Because in that stillness, the road will reveal itself. So let me ask you gently, are you in such a season? A season where the universe compels you to stop and reflect. If you are, share your story in the comments. Because your story might be the light that guides someone else, someone who is wandering just as you once were. And believe me, this pause will not last forever. It is only the breathing of the universe. Like a seed buried in the dark soil, it needs time and silence before it can break open and rise toward the sun. Don't rush out. Don't think you've been left behind. You are being prepared for a chapter more radiant than anything before. So give yourself permission to be quiet, to breathe, to look inward. And then you will see this pause is not a curse, but a gift. It is the beginning of your rebirth. And in this very stillness, a deeper cleansing is already happening, preparing your heart for true healing. There comes a moment when a person suddenly realizes the most important things are not out there in the world but right here within the heart. Not the job you held, not the house you bought, not the victories you once claimed. True happiness is decided by the stillness inside the place where the soul can finally breathe free. And if you are in this season of life, perhaps you've already felt it, a cleansing wind moving through you, sweeping away the dust that has clung to your heart for so many years. This is not a noisy change. It is not an outward crisis that others can see. It is a quiet revolution, a healing that happens deep in the deepest layers of the soul. The wounds you've hidden, the betrayals, the abandonments, the words you never forgave, all of them are slowly being brought into the light. The universe whispers, "It is time to be cleansed." And God places his hand on your shoulder, reminding you, "My child, I do not want you to carry any more pain. Give it to me so your heart can be free." You may find it strange. One day you cry without knowing why. One night you dream and the past rushes back like a film, bringing you to moments you thought were forgotten. Do not be afraid. This is not the darkness returning to torment you. This is the light of God and the universe knocking on your door to free what you have never truly released. Picture your soul as a room. For years, you have filled it with memories, with burdens, with pain, until the space became crowded, suffocating. Now, the cleansing begins. The door opens. Light pours in. Old things heavy with dust are being carried out. For a moment, it may feel chaotic, but remember, chaos is simply the sign of a room being cleaned. God is never in a hurry. The universe is never rushed. When your heart is being purified, the goal is not to feel better right away, but to be truly healed. That healing flows like a stream, slowly, quietly, seeping into every crack, washing away the oldest stains. Don't push. Don't worry that you must improve instantly. Just sit in stillness, let the light and love flow into every wound. And then the miracle comes, relief. When forgiveness is released, when the pain is dissolved, the weight on your shoulders is gone. You stand taller, you breathe deeper, you smile for no reason at all. This peace is not like the fleeting pleasures the world gives. It feels like the arms of God wrapping around you, whispering, "My child, you are home." I once thought healing meant forgetting, erasing, making the wound disappear. But no, healing means you can touch the scar and it no longer hurts. Like a mark on the skin, it reminds you of what you've been through, but it also proves you survived, you grew stronger, you became wiser. And in that healing, you are reborn softer, yes, but also more resilient than ever. Maybe right now you still feel like you're standing in the storm. But trust this, storms are how the heavens cleanse the air. And your soul, after the rain, will be clearer than ever before. All you need to do is open your heart and whisper to God and to yourself, "I allow the past to leave. I allow the light to stay." My dear friend, let me ask you, is there a wound in your heart you've never truly touched? A memory you keep avoiding, afraid it will hurt again? If so, write it down in the comments. Because speaking it, sharing it, may be the very first step in your healing. And who knows, your story may be the key that unlocks the heart of someone else who also needs healing right now. This cleansing does not come to take away from you. It comes to return what is rightfully yours, a whole heart. And once that heart is washed clean, you will be able to build a foundation that is steady, lasting for your life, your love, and the journey that still lies ahead. And that is exactly where we go next, into the path of building a lasting foundation where every choice, every step becomes a seed for the future. After the heart has been cleansed, after the old layers of dust have been washed away, a natural question begins to rise inside you. So, what will I build from here? Where will I place the first stone of the rest of my life? And that is where the true journey begins, the journey of building a lasting foundation, not just for yourself, but for the ones you love and for the very soul within you. At this age, we are no longer seduced by fleeting things the way we once were. We have run, we have competed, we have chased after instant victories only to realize how quickly they fade, vanishing like smoke in the wind. Now, the soul longs for something different, steadiness, truth, and values that will endure. Think of your life as a house. Over the years, you may have changed its outer design many times, painted the walls, fixed the roof, added more furniture. But if the foundation is weak, the whole house will tremble. And now, God and the universe are not asking you to decorate anymore. They are calling you to return to the foundation, to see if it is strong enough, to see if it can truly hold the weight of the life ahead. This is the time to lay down the stones that matter most, the stone of real love, the stone of trust, the stone of peace, the stone of wisdom. God teaches us, a house built on rock will stand through the storm, but a house built on sand will collapse in the rain. That rock is the soul rooted in truth, in compassion, in faith. And as the Buddha reminds us, true happiness does not come from the fleeting outside world, but from the roots within. When faith and awakening meet, a truth is revealed. What lasts can only be built through patience, through love, and through values that never change. Perhaps you've asked yourself, what have I lived half my life for? The answer is not in the trophies or the papers. It is in the things you sowed that still live on in the hearts of others. A smile you gave, a hand you held, a friendship you kept, a family you nurtured. That is the real foundation. And now in this season, the universe invites you to sit down, to reflect, and to choose carefully. Which stones will you keep? And which ones must you remove so the foundation can be rebuilt stronger? You know, I once sat with a man in his 60s. He looked at me and said, "When I was young, I kept running after what I thought was gold. But now, I see the real gold is the people I love and the values I leave behind for them." Those words cut deep into me like a revelation. And today, I want to hand them to you. So if you are hearing this, ask yourself, is the foundation you are building for the rest of your life strong enough? Will it carry you through the storms? Will it bring peace to the ones you love? If you are unsure, then this is the time to begin again. I want to invite you to do something. Close your eyes, place your hand on your heart, whisper, "Lord, help me build my life's foundation upon rock, not on sand. Teach me to choose what lasts, not what fades. Give me strength to sow values that remain even after I am gone." That prayer, if spoken from the heart, becomes a seed, and every seed grows into something enduring. Because you see, the lasting foundation is not what you own. It is what you give. It is not tall walls or shiny roofs. It is love and wisdom that you plant in the world. And if you build upon love, upon truth, upon faith, then the house of your life will stand strong against every storm. And when those first stones of the foundation are laid, you will be ready for the next chapter, the chapter of reconciliation. Because no foundation can ever be truly solid if the heart still holds resentment, if the wounds of the past are left unforgiven. And that is exactly what awaits you next. When a lasting foundation has begun to take shape, when the stones of love and truth have been laid down, the next thing the heart must face are the cracks that were never healed. We like to believe the past is behind us, that it's gone. But the truth is, it still lives within us in the way we look at others, in the way we love, in the restless nights when sleep will not come. And to truly step into a life of peace, you cannot just build new walls, you must also reconcile with yourself and with the past that still lingers. Maybe you've forgiven many people out there, but perhaps the one person you've never forgiven is yourself. You blame yourself for wrong decisions, for words you shouldn't have spoken, for chances you let slip away. Sometimes you look into the mirror and whisper, "If only I had been different." But my friend, if only is a trap. It locks us in what cannot be changed. And God whispers, "I do not look at you with judgment. I look at you with unconditional love. So why do you keep rejecting yourself?" Remember this, every mistake you made did not come to destroy you, but to teach you. Every wound did not arrive to break you, but to open the way to growth. Buddhist wisdom says, holding on to anger is like holding a burning coal, waiting to throw it at someone else. The first to be burned is you. And the same is true when you hold anger toward yourself. The tighter you grip it, the more you suffer. Release it, and only then can you heal. Maybe you still remember the one who broke your heart. Maybe you still ache over a marriage, a friendship, a family that fractured. For years, you've carried their shadow inside you like a thorn buried in the flesh. But today, the universe brings you here, not to keep carrying it, but to remove it, to declare, "I choose to forgive, not because they deserve it, but because my heart deserves to be free." Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean accepting the wrong. Forgiveness simply means you will no longer allow that pain to govern your life. It is like setting down a heavy pack you've carried too long so your shoulders can finally rest. Imagine walking with a bag of stones on your back. Every step exhausting, but the moment you place it down, the road ahead feels so much lighter. And in the moment you release it, something miraculous happens. Your chest feels lighter. Light floods the places once dark. That is when you are truly reconciled with yourself. That is when you can look into the mirror, smile, and whisper, "I have survived it all and I am still here. I am strong enough to forgive, big enough to let go, and worthy enough to move forward." Let me share something from deep within. In all my years walking with souls seeking healing, I've realized this: people are not most afraid of pain itself, they are afraid of their memories. They try to bury them, pretending that if they don't look, they'll vanish. But memories don't vanish. They sleep waiting for the day they return. And when they do, they often hurt more. So why not open your heart now? Why not bring those memories into the light and embrace them as part of who you are? You might think, "I can't do it." But listen, you don't have to do it alone. Remember, you have God, you have the universe, you even have others walking the same healing journey as you. When you speak your story, when you share it in the comments or with someone you trust, you are not only freeing yourself, you are handing someone else the key to free their heart too. So let me ask you with honesty, is there something from your past you've never forgiven? A name, a face, or perhaps an older version of yourself? If so, this is the moment to write it down, to put it down. Treat this moment as a small ritual. Write it and whisper, "I release it. I choose reconciliation. I allow God and love to guide the rest of my life." Reconciliation is not an ending. Reconciliation is the beginning. It is like opening a door and behind it a sunrise awaits. And when the heart is truly reconciled, when no cracks pull you backward into the past, another gift arrives. A gift you may not expect, but your soul has been waiting for all along. It is love, not fleeting love, but mature, steady love. The kind of love you are worthy of. When a heart has learned how to let go of the past, when the burdens have been set down, and the wounds have slowly turned into scars, that is when a quiet miracle often happens. Not a loud miracle, not fireworks exploding in the sky, but a presence so gentle, like the soft light of dawn after a long night. That is the moment when mature love enters. This love is not like anything you've known before. It doesn't come rushing in. It doesn't appear in reckless games of passion. It doesn't carry the fear of being abandoned. Mature love arrives clothed in peace. It feels like a shoulder you can lean on without fear it will collapse. It feels like a door that opens, and this time, you know it will not slam shut. Perhaps you once lived romances that burned through your youth only to end in ashes. Perhaps you once knew desire, but it left behind only wounds. Mature love is no longer that wild fire. It is like a steady flame, small but enduring, keeping you warm through long winters. It doesn't overwhelm you, it makes you feel safe. And in that safety, your heart learns how to bloom again. Mature love comes when you've learned to cherish your own presence. When you no longer need love to fill a void, but to share the fullness already alive in your heart. It is not a thirst, but a clear stream. Not the fear of being left behind, but the joy of walking together. And in this love, you don't need to become someone else. You only need to be yourself, honest enough, tender enough, strong enough. God often gives us his gifts when he knows we are ready. And this love is just like that. It does not arrive when you are desperately searching. It comes when you are already at peace within yourself. When you smile at the morning, when you feel light in your soul for no reason at all, that is when love quietly steps into your life like a miracle. And you know what? This time, love is not here to test you. It is here to hold you. Imagine a quiet afternoon. You sit with someone over a cup of tea. No dramatic words, no grand gestures, just a warm gaze, just the gentle touch of a hand. And in that moment, you realize true love doesn't need to perform. It only needs a heart that has learned patience, a soul that has practiced forgiveness, and a trust that God has arranged everything in his perfect timing. Mature love has one more gift: it listens. It does not come to impose, but to walk beside you. It is like two rivers flowing separately for many years, finally meeting to become one. And in that union, neither loses itself. Instead, both grow deeper, wider, stronger. Remember this at this stage of life. Love is not a game. It is the meeting of two souls that have weathered storms, that carry scars, yet still have the courage to open again. And it is those very scars that make this love beautiful, because it is built on truth, on patience, and on compassion. This is love you do not need to prove, love you do not need to fight for. You simply allow it to nourish you. Do you believe that this love can appear at any age? that after everything, God has always held a gift in his hands waiting until you were ready to receive it. If you believe, leave a heart in the comments. Write the words, "I believe in mature love," because the moment you claim that belief, you open the door for love to enter. And maybe some of you listening right now already feel something shifting. A meeting that seemed accidental but touched your heart. An unexpected gaze that filled you with peace. Or perhaps just a stirring inside, whispering, "Love is not over. It is only beginning again on a higher level. Don't fear. Don't doubt. Trust this, what comes from God will bring peace, not worry." Mature love doesn't promise you will never face trials, but it promises you will never face them alone again. And there is one thing for certain: this love is the stepping stone to something greater, to the most sacred lesson of all. Patience with the rhythm of the universe and the mission your soul was born to carry. There is a truth we often forget: the universe is never in a hurry. And God, he is never late. He arrives right on time at the moment our soul is ready to receive. But between not yet and almost here, there is a space. And that space is the lesson of patience. After the heart has been cleansed, after a lasting foundation has been laid, after mature love has appeared, what remains is learning how to walk with quiet faith. You may want everything to happen right now. You may pray and ask, "Lord, why must I keep waiting?" But remember, my friend, waiting does not mean you are abandoned. Waiting is part of the journey. Like a seed buried in the soil, it has not died, it is quietly preparing to break open and rise. Patience is not just letting time pass. Patience is a state of the soul, the trust that even when you see nothing, God and the universe are still working behind the scenes. Like a great puzzle, you only see one piece, but the Creator sees the whole picture. He knows why you need another day, another month, even another year. He knows that what comes too soon will not be ripe, and what arrives in its right time will become an eternal blessing. From 49 to 63, patience is no longer a stranger. It becomes the very breath of life. You begin to see that slow steps carry more meaning than frantic running. You learn how to sit with a cup of tea to watch the sunset and feel gratitude for a single day. You learn to look into the eyes of the one you love, no grand words needed, and see a whole universe of peace there. You learn to smile at yourself, to forgive the scars, and to accept that everything has always been part of the journey. And it is within this patience that you begin to hear the whisper of your mission. Not a loud mission the world applauds, not a mission of medals or applause. This mission is simpler and yet far deeper. It is the mission of living true to yourself, the mission of being a small candle, lighting a corner of someone's darkness, the mission of holding a child, of comforting a friend, of simply being present with love wherever you walk. God does not call you to be a perfect hero. He calls you to be yourself, but the truest, deepest, most loving version of you. The universe has not placed you in a race to prove who is strongest. The universe only asks you to grow patiently, like a tree sending roots deep into the earth so that when the storms come, you still stand tall. Yes, there will still be moments of doubt. Yes, you may still ask, what is the true purpose of my life? But the answer is not in some distant future. The answer lies in each day you live with love and gratitude. Every moment you choose love instead of anger, forgiveness instead of resentment, trust instead of fear, that is when you are already fulfilling your soul's mission. So be patient. Trust. Let every day of your life become a living prayer. And remember, you were never walking alone. God is right beside you. The universe is holding each of your steps. And this road, whether long or short, is leading you back to your sacred essence. Thank you for listening all the way to the end of this journey. Thank you for opening your heart and allowing these words to touch it. May you always find light in your darkest days, love in your driest places, and peace in every breath you take. I bless you with this. May you have enough faith to keep walking, enough patience to keep waiting, and enough love to shine on yourself and on everyone around you.